George Kilpatrick, New Inspiration for the Nation. We are the program that celebrates people we feel good about, and we are asking community leaders this question. What is the positive personal script that you use to stay motivated, achieve, and maintain your goals and aspirations during these times, or what some describe as trying times? Here to answer that question is Melanie Littlejohn. Here to answer that question is Melanie Littlejohn. Melanie Littlejohn is the vice president here at National Grid. Melanie, how do you answer that question?
Hi, George. Well, this is a real significant question, and I think one that we all need to kind of get connected with. When I think about what helps me stay motivated during times of either great angst or great triumph is knowing that turmoil doesn't last for always. Just understanding that as you step through something, that as a part of your journey, you're going to learn something through that experience. And so it's really just trying to stay focused on what the end game is, and know that there's a lesson in everything, whether you go through great triumph as well. What's the lesson there? And how do I maintain who I am through the process becomes critically important. Staying true to myself, my beliefs, but also understanding that as you step through the fire, there's a lesson.
So you have to step through the fire.
Absolutely. How else do you grow? Through lots of pain, there's revelation. And through revelation, there's growth. And you just have to keep moving, but kind of take those lessons along the way.
What lessons have you learned, and what were you telling yourself along the way?
Stay true to your beliefs. Don't get swayed from your beliefs. Stay centered. Stay focused. Remember your home training. Really, it's about staying true to yourself. And it's also really about, for me, starting each and every day with gratitude, understanding that whatever happens in a day, whatever happens in a week or a month is a gift.
You said that staying true, when you say that and staying true to your beliefs, what does that mean practically?
I think what it means practically for me is, even how I process information through a corporate lens. There are things that I identify with that are critically important to, say, the way I interface or manage people or processes, things that are intrinsically me, and things that are important to me. About taking time to connect with both internal employees as well as the residents of this great city. I'm committed to doing that, and regardless if that's important to me, and I can't waver from that. So that's it on a practical basis, and that gives me. It really helps shores up who I believe I am as a leader.
And who is it that you believe you are as a leader?
One that puts people before process, that puts community first, that looks for solutions, that looks for consensus, that looks for finding and wanting to leave our community in a better way than I found it.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it's not necessarily words. You don't have a mantra. You don't. Well, I'm not hearing you say that there's a specific set of words that you use that says, Mel, you're going to get through this. There's not a specific set of things like that. There's not a script in your head from what you're saying to me, or is there?
Well, yes and no. All right. Knowing that every day brings a different challenge. But yes, in that my mother and father used to have a saying that was shared with them when they were young. And they used to say, this is a mean and cruel world where timid minds cannot survive. So I keep that front and keep focus, to keep grounded, just to know that this is a mean and cruel world where timid minds cannot survive. So really that's, and I think it was their way of saying, shore up your institutional, your insides. Get strong, be strong, know who you are, know what values you have, know what you're going to stand for, and know what you're not. Because, of course, the age-old saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I think it was their way of helping me grow into a strong leader. So I think about that often.
How, then, does this personal script, this personal positive script in the DNA that you were given, how does that also manifest itself?
You know, I think it just really manifests itself during my daily interactions. You know, you get what you see, and it's really just still reminiscent of how I interface and interact with both folks at every single level, every single background, both inside the organization, outside the organization. It's about being consistent.
Melanie Littlejohn here telling us what her personal positive script is. So if I were to summarize, would I say staying true to yourself, knowing who you are, and knowing that it's a cruel world and timid minds don't survive, so you're shored up, you're girded up, and you're ready. And quite disarming, I might add.
Yes. You've summed it up wonderfully.
With Melanie Littlejohn. And so, as a woman in corporate America, with the DNA you have and the skin color you have, how does that impact how you use your personal positive script?
You know, I think it's really about being culturally connected to who I am, and being proud of this is a part of my DNA. You know, my cultural lens will be far different than maybe even some of my colleagues. But, you know, it's really about me being real comfortable with who I am in my package. And, you know, it's a tall order, you know, both from not only from a gender perspective, but certainly from a race perspective. It's really how we embody and get comfortable with who we are. And that's how you exude being positive, when I can look in the mirror and just embrace who I am.
Because I'm certain that in most situations that you're going to find yourself in, you're representing one of the two of the suits you wear. Yeah.
Most often, probably almost on a daily basis, you know. But that's really about embracing who you are, because then it doesn't bother you. It just is. And you represent your views, your organization, and you represent who you are as a person. And just, you know, kind of I wallow in my femininity, and I wallow in my being Afrocentric. So, and I'm real comfortable in that space. And when you're real comfortable in that space, you just exude who you are, and people either embrace you or they don't. But you have to be really, really good with that one way or another.
And good at what you do.
And very good at what you do.
George Kilpatrick, New Inspiration for the Nation, part of our In Search of Excellence tour.